And hello, welcome back, guys. Here, SpeakuP Monday, inspiring humanity live stream and podcast series. And this is great because this is our way to get in touch with beautiful people on the other side of the world who can't be here in Bali to do the Destination Indonesia version that as you know, we do with a live studio audience. So, I love technology. It brings us closer together. Now, today we're talking to an old friend, an incredible, beautiful, soulful man, Jason Scott Thompson, otherwise known as Circleman. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, Robert. After all these years, in the flesh, anyway.
Mate, and you're in LA at the moment, right?
West Hollywood, to be precise. They call it WeHo.
WeHo. That's the first time I heard that.
Some people say you're a WeHo and WeHo. I'm not really, but anyway.
I love that. So look, many people are probably wondering, right? So you're an empath, you're a connector, you're a guy who is a light worker. Now, the Circleman. So maybe a great place to start would be, like, what is Circleman? What is it about? Where did it start? And what do you bring to it?
Well, thanks for that. Circleman is basically something that happened to me, and a lot of my friends out there will know. They know me as Circleman. Basically, I'm here to unite people. The circles are all around us, and years ago it happened. It was like an epiphany it was actually Neutral Bay. The days I knew you when you were managing Tank, it was way back then actually, and I just saw the way the world was back then, and I had this epiphany about all the circles and how we used to dance in circles like the Greeks, and the Olympic symbol was the 5 continents of the world are circles. So everything around us is circles and then I started seeing this pattern of circles all around us. Even the big fact that we live on a big circle called planet Earth, and all of our feet are stuck on it, not our heads, our feet, So we're all on this round big circle, and the human egg under a microscope is a circle. Even if you get a carrot or an orange, a carrot long way, you cut it to circles, or even the sperm and the egg, you cut the sperm that way, it's a circle coming this way to you. So, from all the fruits, the apples, the oranges, everything, a pear, you cut it, it's all circles around us. And I'm looking at you through a circle camera and my circle eyes. So when you get a bubble even, it just instantly turns into a circle, or a drop of water goes into a circle. So I call that the circle vibration. And if you take it on a deeper level, there's circles all around us. And when we come together and dance like the Greeks and all the indigenous people used to dance around the fire, around the cauldron, like we have in the Olympics again. And as you know, the Olympics makes us all feel, the goosebumps. And guess what shape they are? Circles. So I'm actually getting the circles right now, like all over my body. I don't know if you can see them, but I get the circle vibration almost every day. When I'm in alignment with Source, I'm in alignment with the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, and the divine kingdom, and man's kingdom, But that's why they say the kingdom is from within. So when we take that time to go within, we only, it's only when we take the be still and know. And it's only when we are really quiet within ourselves can we really feel our true feelings. And the fastest way to freedom is to feel your feelings, right? So when you come together in the symphony of life, then symphonia is a Greek word for agreement. So just when you get musicians all agreeing, the same key, the same song, the same tempo, the same story, and it's like harmonies, and you get the goosebumps, you get little circles. And people have obviously out there felt the circles when you're hearing musicians, or you watch American Idol or something, and some little kid at 7's blowing your brains out with, wow, look, and it gives you the goosebumps. So this is when you get the one accordness. And when we all come together in one accord, there you'll be having this great force, the Source be with you, and you'll feel it. You'll feel the goosebumps. When you're in alignment with Source, you'll feel the goosebumps. That's my little green light,
Love it.
Just as I'm seeing a little green light on this camera here now. It's trippy. But anyway, it gives you that confirmation. But the Circleman basically came from that. And I saw circles, and I've written a couple of songs called The Circle Vibration. And it's when we come together In the circles of love, there's a vibration, yeah. And when we come together in the circles of peace, there's a vibration, yeah. Every woman, every girl, and every man, and every boy, there's a vibration, yeah. A circle vibration, yeah. So that was the core of the song. It was a bit of a tribal dance anthem song. But anyway, when we do come together in these circles, we do feel those goosebumps, which are all little circles. So I'm here to remind people of what we all have in common, rather than all the things we don't. And we could all sit down and go, and they're like, you know, you're different, and people fear what they don't understand. But if we could actually align all the circles and realize that all the circles around us, so we all got that in common. You know, we've all got the circle eyes, you know. We've all got, you know, two circles on a nose, you know. We eliminate with a circle at the other end, you know. It's like everything around us is circles, you know. And you look, like I said, at the top of a drum, the end of a trumpet, the center of that guitar, you know, a flute instrument, it's all circles. And, you know, if we realize all these things that we have in common, you know, rather than all the things we don't. So as an MC, comedian and master of ceremonies, I've been doing it for years, I would use my talents to unify people and to get people dancing in circles even. And that's when you get that good vibe there. Have you felt that vibe?
Oh, mate, like that's where we met, you know, amongst all those good vibes. As you mentioned, when we were running Tank Nightclub, voted number 3 in the world back in 2001, 2005 in Sydney. Amazing, man. And like,
with Nathan Garnett. Remember Nathan Garnett?
Yeah, of course, mate. If he's watching this, it's trippy. Antonio Zambarelli, Nathan Garnett, the other Nathan is incredible. Jeremy Somers, and Jeremy Kosh. You know, it's fantastic, right? There's we obviously have so much in common, right? So we're doing the same thing, right, from different parts of the same circle, and you know, but this beautiful word that was reintroduced to me maybe 4, 5, 6 days ago with another podcast that I was doing, is that word resonance, right? Resonance. And that's what you're talking about, you know, that resonance between us, the way that we oscillate together. And you know, at that basal level, we all want to be loved, respected, acknowledged, fulfilled in what we do. You know, and accepted for who we are. That cuts across all boundaries of race, color, ethnicity, religiosity, and so on,
Indeed.
right? And this is what you stand for.
Indeed. It's not about the religion, it's about unifying everybody. Like I said, we all come together in the circles. Like you have your family circle, don't you? And your Christmas store wreath on. A lot of Americans have over here, they have the wreath all year round because it represents, I believe, you know, that's your family circle. You know, like the Greeks have a circle wreath. And then, like I said, the Greeks dance in circles. I've been to Greece many times, you know, and I feel that when everybody's dancing in circles. And if you look at all different cultures, from the Aboriginals going, you know, click, 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 they dance around the fire, or the Irish jumping up and down. If you look at all most cultures, they will dance in circles. But are we doing that today? You know, ring a rosy, like kids do, you know. So are we coming together in these circles, but we're being separated, especially now when there's this COVID thing, you know, everybody's like, we're not hugging, we're not unifying, we're disconnecting on so many levels. Even though we've got the internet, we're all not touching, but we're going into this cyber world, which is an unseen world, but this is the real here. Just as they say, this world here is just a shadow of things to come, meaning there's the real is somewhere up here, and this is a shadow, they say, what we're seeing. And you know, we're going into the cyber world, that's another shadow again. So we've got to have this world. We don't look after this world, that world's not going to happen. We don't have the master switch turned on because we've blown up this world. You know, yeah. So we've got to realize that. And so that, you know, I'm with you, brother. It's like bringing people together, and we need to unify people. And when you are resonating within yourself, but to belong to a symphony, you've got to go tune your instrument, don't you? You know, the maestro will go, stop, you're off, go and tune yourself. You know, like you can come back when you've done that, but you know, we're not excluding, because I'm all about radical inclusion. You know, like the Burning Man philosophy, one of the ethos is radical inclusion. You know, everybody is worth something. It's like like in the symphony, you get the big drums, boom, 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 or you get the little triangle play, you know, everybody plays the part, even if it's a little, wait for it, you know. So everybody plays their part in the symphony of life. And remember, symphonia is a Greek word for agreement. So when we're all in agreeing on the same key, the same song, the same tempo, and like you said in the nightclubs, there's another song I've written called Goosebump Junkie, and it goes, a symphony of music, a symphony of taste, a symphony of people. That's when it all vibrates. Goosebump Junkie, feels so funky. Goosebump Junkie makes me feel so high. It's like a prayer. So it was a dancey track underneath it too, you know, symphony of music. So when people come together, you'll get the goosebumps. Like not too much chili in the mix of foods, it's like not too much chili. Sorry, not too much chili in the mix of food. It's like not too much bass in the mix of music. It's all in the mix. So when you get a symphony of music, a symphony of taste, a symphony of people, you get the VJs, you get the DJs, you get the food Js, you get people coming together. That's when you feel the goosebumps. Man. And that, if you want to call it, is the omnipresent, the omniscient, and the omnipotent. All powerful, all present, all knowing.
Man, I love you, man. Like I've missed you, mate. Like your words and your vibe and your voice. Love the songs. Love your voice. Like I've missed it, man. Like it's you're beautiful, man. What a special gift.
So are you, though.
You are, man.
Sounds like Hollywood, the Self-Admiration Society, but we're not. We really mean this. Oh no, you're fabulous. No, you're fabulous. No, but you really are fabulous. You know, like. It's not like that at all, folks. But you know, I've known Robert for I've known you for 20 years when I first saw you at Tank, and I saw you as a lighthouse. I used to always say that to you, didn't I?
Yes.
I'd come, you know, back in the day. You. I would recognise you way back then that you were a light worker. You were a unifier too, because I felt you were doing the same thing, but in your own way and in your community, in your world.
Yes.
You know, and everybody can do that, especially with this medium today. There's not like 4 or 5 Tonight shows anymore. There's millions of Tonight shows, and you might have your little flock of 1,000 people that you're leading, you know, and teaching and being a light worker too, and being a lighthouse.
Yeah.
Because that's what you had when you were younger. We need the elders, and we need people to guide us, especially these young kids. These kids today, they're going, what? Because they're born into authenticity. Yeah. They come into this world and they're going, It's like, it's unnatural what we're doing to the world. So we've got a lot of instinctual stuff that's all in us, you know, like the spider that knows how to make the web, or the dog who does a number 2 and he scrapes his legs behind it to cover the dirt. Even if it's on concrete, they instinctually do it, don't they?
Yeah.
So we have all this stuff inside us too that we're not accessing, you know, and they need to, it's already in them. It just needs to be illuminated by light workers.
Oh, I love that. And like, so if there's people watching, right, and they're thinking, you know, I love the philosophy. I feel the philosophy. I feel it real. You know, like, but where do I start, right? How do I do it? You talk about tuning your instrument. Okay, how do you do that? You talk about, you know, your circle. I get it. I got a circle of family, a family circle. I got a circle of friends. But where do I start? Like, what would you advise people if they asked you that question?
It starts with at us. Like I said, if you want to play, it's like tuning your own instrument. Like you'd be a guitar or violin or sax. Everybody's going ding, 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 ding in the pit before they play, right? Everybody ready? Everybody tune? Because you've got to tune it from the day before. I mean, I do my yoga, my meditation, which means to indulge in thought in a lot of ways too. A lot of people think meditation is just like, I ain't think of nothing. Yes, you're going to empty the mind from all the coke signs and all the distractions and the noise, like the white noise, and you've got to rise above that. And so relaxation, so you can meditate on your life, you know. Like I said, the fastest way to freedom is to feel your feelings. Sometimes you need to center yourself and go back and listen to yourself, because it's only when we're still can we really know the true you. And as you know, I was a founder years ago of a health retreat called Authenticity. So to answer your question, it's got to start with us, really, at the end of the day. We've got to realign ourselves. And like a musician, then you can come into the symphony, into that circle, into that, like the Greeks dance, or in that circle of musicians, or circle of chefs, or circle. So when you have it, that's why I love events. You know, as you know, I'm an event man. I've been an event manager, a creative director in events. So I've come up with ideas for the International Special Events Society. So, and I've actually performed for organisations like that. So I love events. And now, I'm an MC, but I'm also a comedian. I dress up, and those who know me out there, they know I do dress ups. And I use that again to bring people together through the celebration, like the tribes that always wore masks and danced around the fire. But we do that now in the modern world by when we come together in festivals, and we have to express ourselves and let it go. Like, dance is great as well, but to play responsibly. So to answer your question, I talk a lot, but it's like you have to center yourself and be yourself first. So your instrument's tuned, then you can do a duet, then you do a trio, because then you can come into the social scene, into the gatherings, into the tribe, your clan, whatever you want to call it. And then there's harmony, because everybody's not, everybody's centered. They've got their chi, they know who they are. They're functioning with their true useful purpose. That's a key thing too, to be able to be functioning with your true useful purpose. Because I believe the purpose in life is to have a purpose and to flourish with that purpose, like the plant kingdom. Everybody, just like I said about the instruments, you could take it into the plant, the big trees or the little tiny herbs. Everybody's in the symphony of the plants and the symphony of music. It's the same kind of metaphor. When we all come together, imagine if everybody was like the plant kingdom on this planet. Everybody was just flourishing with their true useful purpose. Like, you don't see an apple tree trying to be a banana tree because Kylie's a banana tree. I'll get hers and stick them on me. They'll love me now. It doesn't work like that. You've got to access your authenticity. Yeah. Hence the health retreat that I was mentioning that I pioneered with a lovely man called Gregory Damascus. I don't know if you've met Gregory. He's a wonderful naturopath and psychotherapist. He actually took it on and it ran for 20 years, but I worked on it for 3 years to help launch it and birth it. And I've realized my calling was to go back in front of the audience again and do bigger crowds. Some people do the one-on-one like Gregory was doing, and small groups, but you get to a stage where you can have leverage, and talk to more people, which is what I feel my calling is too. That's why I can go in front of a camera, or I've been on stage most of my life.
So look, what happens then, right? So your guy's clearly in touch, right? I love the resonance, okay? I love the energy that comes off of you that is very inclusive, like radical inclusion, love that. But what happens if you wake up on the wrong side of bed? Like what happens to Circleman on those days where things don't necessarily start in the way that you would have planned? Like how do you bring it back?
Well, there's always challenges in your life, of course, and there's a shadow side of us, all of us. That's why most people are acting out of their shadow side rather than their light side, which they can be. But sometimes I have those days too, challenges. I sometimes wake up and there's an earthquake. I live in LA. It's like, it can take away, or you can get distracted, or you've got some underlying fears that you need to work out. Through timeline therapy, which is, to me, the way it works. And, sometimes I have my bad days, but then, sometimes I get negative thoughts because there's residuals in us that we've all been taught some bad erroneous things, not necessarily bad, but things that don't serve you. And then we're getting frustrated because at the end of the day, everything's got to serve us and give results, otherwise if we're not functioning with our purpose, like I said, if you're an apple tree trying to be a banana tree, it doesn't work. So, it's coming back to your authenticity. Sometimes you get your fear of your old kind of thinking and you've got to spit that out and renew your mind and get in alignment with the stuff that and know that you're amazing, that you're a beautiful being and every day is a wonderful day, and that you wake up and you can create this because you are the creative director of your life, because I'm a strong believer in your thoughts become things. And whatever you're thinking about the most is always in the process of becoming. So you have to gird your mind. And sometimes you have to cast down vain imaginations that is exalting itself against this knowledge. That's actually an old proverb, what I just said then. And it's true. You have to cast down like, what am I thinking? That's the old thinking. And replace it with everything's going to be right. You make a short film in your head of how it's going to be and what your purpose is. Like if you're an apple tree, or banana tree or peach tree, you think, if you're an apple tree, you think, I'm seeing that apple pie, and I'm using that as a metaphor, like apple tree, banana tree, cherry tree, or actor, dancer, singer, teacher, musician, VJ, DJ, whatever you are out there, scientist, guys with mathematics, which I'm not good at that, but, I'm more visual, but some guys can cut it all down with all mathematics, not my thing, but everybody's doing their thing. So if you function with that, then that's when you start having a good day, because you're in alignment with your true useful purpose and you're flourishing. Because if the purpose in life is to have a purpose, then to flourish with that, like the plant king, you're blossoming. Oh, isn't Robert blossoming at the moment? When they say that, it's not like there's flowers coming out your ears. You really are flourishing. And you are doing that, brother. I can tell you that now, because I've been watching you lately. And you're going to from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
I must admit, this whole time of whatever you want to call it has been a time of tremendous, get out of your own way and just put it out there, just really just go for it, man. And here, tropical nomad co-working in Canggu in Bali, Indonesia, Ichi, the owner here, incredible fella, Ichi Yamada, married to an Indonesian. He's from Japan, and we have a great resonance around building for the future, Indonesia, the next generation, collaboration, looking at creating this, helping Bali to become this next incubator, like a Silicon Valley but Bali style, right? And just finding different ways to inspire humanity. And so there's some amazing things going on here, right? And we shoot all of our SpeakuP Mondays out of here, and I love that. Yeah, Bali, even now, Bali is, for me, even more amazing, because whereas before there was this white noise of what I call the bintang tourist, let's go and have a beer and get drunk, which is fine, right? I have been that, probably will be that again at some stage. I'm not
$5 watch.
So I'm really not looking down on it at all. I'm just acknowledging it. But then the people that were here, maybe been here for, they're incumbents, been here for a while. The energy of Bali is very spiritual, but didn't feel like the connection with people because there's a white noise. But now that white noise is no longer here, it's like now everyone who's here wants to be here, and they see one another for the first time in certain cases. So now there's some incredible opportunities to collaborate on projects that uplift and birth humanity in all sorts of ways. So it's a magical place, the Island of the Gods, even more so now than before. Which is, so it's a phenomenal spot, and this is also helping me to find greater resonance within myself and within the community of like minds which are out there at a time that's probably the most important time in history as we know it to do that, right? Which is why I love hanging out, communicating with, catching up with people like you. So then, which brings on to the next question actually, which is, you mentioned before that we live in a virtual world in many ways. Events are starting to come back in certain parts of the world. But how can people spread and share their light and acknowledge these circles? What have you been doing for the past 6, 7, 8, 9 months to a year to spread your light when you haven't been able to do it in person? So how have you managed to still get yourself out there?
Well, I was humbled, and basically, I had to do some singing telegrams, which is social distancing out the front of someone's doorstep. Hi, the show must go on. So I'd be singing, a singing telegram to somebody.
Wow.
But that was what I was doing. Because I'm blessed, I'm very resourceful. And I was doing Zoom, of course, but virtual hugs suck because I want to feel the goosebumps. I want to smell the person, you smell nice. We all want that, and I think with COVID, it made us all go into another level, and obviously that time where we were forced to be solitude and be on our own. A lot of people are scared of being on their own. If you can't handle yourself, hanging out with you, there's a problem. You've got to need to be able to hang out with yourself. If you have to always be around people, that's a problem because you're mood altering through activity and not going within, You know what I'm saying? You're being aware and connected to yourself. And a lot of people are not. They're disconnected. I mean, that's why I'm still single. Most people don't get love and value themselves. So how the hell are they going to get love and value me if you don't get love and value yourself? So it's very rare to find people that are actually self-actualized, self-aware, self-valued, self-esteemed, self-parented, which all takes self-discipline. It's like being a disciple of yourself is not easy. And that's what the word discipline means. When they call them the disciples, for instance, that followed Jesus, they called them disciples. That basically they're saying the disciplined ones. And there was a great commissioning, because I'm a theologian too. A lot of people don't realize that I studied like a monk for 2 years, and then I realized organized religion sucks. And I talk about this now. My circle is my religion, and your circle is your religion. Like, we can come together, and your circle of friends can link with another circle of friends, like the Olympics on a bigger scale. The 5 continents of the world are doing that, but you can do it from within yourself. Like you were saying before, what do? You first of all have to be centering your own circle, and then you're like the male and female symbol when they marry. Like, there's the two. Like, you can then join with a partner, and then you can join with your family. You've got kids, and gorgeous daughters, by the way.
Thank you.
Then you've got your community around you, your street. Then you've got your suburb, then you've got your town, then you've got your state, and then your country, then the world. So we can have effect in our own little world. So you have your little symphony of friends, and and so forth. So when you all come together, when you're aligned and you're resonating, that's when people become attractive. When you hear a person that's playing the violin or something, you can hear that. Go, wow, can you hear that? You go, where's that coming from? Someone's playing the violin. You'll go seeking and walking around and go, oh, it's you. You'll find them. You'll go to them because they're resonating. But if you're all, you're standing on a chair, go, look at me, everybody, look at me. And you go, oh, go away. That's not resonating. So that's why you're not nice to be around. So when you actually are self-aware, self-valued, self-esteem, and that takes all self-discipline, and that's why it's important to realign yourself like that instrument that comes into the symphony to play. I'm telling you, like I said, the maestro who knows how to play every instrument will go, you, get out. What are you? Go and change yourself. You're making everybody go out. It's just gone all yellow again. Hang on.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was about to say very clubhouse here. I was about to say, let's reset the room while Jason resets his camera. We're talking to Jason Scott Thompson, the Circleman.
We did this before, folks. We were trying to get it all right as you do when you're doing something like that.
The joys
it was like doing that before, but then we realised you just have to do that.
I know, the joys of tech. Look, so look, mate.
I've got my red curtain here, and I was looking red. I looked like I was the devil, or some kind of figure. Oh, I'm in hell. I'm a light worker, not a dark worker. Anyway.
Oh, man, I love you, mate. So, Jace, now, there are people who don't know you, right? And, they're wondering, this guy is fabulous. He's amazing. He's connected, omnipotent, omnipresent, and the other one, which I don't remember. And
omniscient. Omniscient means all-knowing. Omniscience.
That's it. Thank you.
Science means knowledge, knowing.
Love it.
So omniscient, omni in Greek means all, like all-knowing, and omnipotent is all-powerful.
Yes.
And omnipresent, which is all everywhere, like the Wi-Fi is everywhere.
All time. Yeah.
You've got to know how to plug into the Wi-Fi, and then you get all the downloads.
Yes.
That's what the goosebumps is.
Omniscient, I love it. And so they're probably wondering, like, how did you come to be like this? So maybe the things that come up for you, maybe some what do we call them? Some moments, some defining moments actually. Like, take us through a bit of your life, the defining moments that you feel help to shape.
Like, this is your life.
You to shape who you've become.
Oh dear God! Where do I begin? I don't know.
The ones that pop in.
I was a little, a little Bart Simpson, but adorable one. A little bit. I was challenged everything. My parents will tell you that. But I was a single in Adelaide. I was born in Adelaide, South Australia. My parents are builders. Those who know me out there, Marshall Thompson Homes, he's retired now. And my mum did she was a hairdresser. She had like 2 salons, and she had us 4 kids. And just quickly, she sold them both, and at the same time become a mother when she had Martin, my brother, who's also an entertainer in Nashville. He's probably watching tonight. And then I had my other brother, Adam, and then my sister. She's my sister, you met her. She's into events as well. She puts on Creative Generation in Queensland, which she brings all the kids from all the public schools and put on a big show for the government pay for, and it's amazing. A lot of you know that out there. And my brother's also a speaker out there, so we're all sort of crazy Thompsons. But Mum and Dad ran this building company, and they'd give a lot of their profits to street kids and stuff too. So they were blessed beings. My father's got an Order of Australia from the Queen, and so's my sister. And I do the Queen of England. Something weird going on there. But anyway, but, you know, they've been honoured by the real Queen, and I do the Queen, so go figure. But anyway, I was brought up as a, you know, I was a singer. I didn't want to play football and contact sports. I looked at that cricket ball and went, it's like a cannonball. I'll play a tennis ball cricket, but not that thing. You know, like, just like, you know, and I thought, and then I looked at, and football, Aussie rules football, for those who know it out there. I was like, no, I'm not into all that contact sport. So I joined the choir, equivalent to the glee club here. So I was a little, you know, one of those guys in the red robes and the white collars going, Ave Maria. But we're all like little angels up in the balcony. We got $2 every Saturday for singing at someone's wedding, you know. But anyway, we'll look like we're little angels, but we're little shits afterwards all up there, because we were thinkers, and, you know, we were into the symphony, you know. So this was obviously in me as a child. So I loved singing. I was always singing in the shower, you know, shut up, you know. Sometimes I'd love it, but, you know, I'd be always singing because, you know, the showers are echoey. So, you know, every time there's a stairwell that it sounds all echoey, I start singing, you know. I love it. So anywho, we're all a bit crazy, the Thompsons. My dad says, you know, they just have to open the fridge up and we start performing because the light turns on, you know. we're all a bit, we're not afraid of, you know, an audience. So, but anyway, so I started off doing the singing, and I had 2 years of singing lessons, and I was a bit of a weird child. I spent my pocket money on elocution lessons with Mrs. Winifred Whittle. I think my music's gone. Alexa, stop. I've got the power. Anyway, so, you know, so I did elocution lessons. I was a bit, you know, a bit of a strange child. So I really realized that the voice was something I was interested in. Maybe I was, you know, come from another life or something that had this destiny, but I was really interested in being, you know, an oracle. Then I studied 2 years of School of Radio, voice production, and I just used my voice. So, and I was blessed that my parents, you know, I was privileged that my parents gave me these, you know, 2 years of private singing lessons. So I've been singing ever since, and I make a living out of singing. I make a living out of, you know, talking and doing all my different impersonations. Those who don't know me might think I'm this spiritual guy, which I am. You know, this is the duality of me. I'm this little funky guru type character, you know, like comes up with all this stuff, but I'm also an impersonator comedian. I do Austin Powers, Dame Edna, I do the Queen of England, you know, I do Steve-O, and I MC big events in these characters, but I'm still being me through the character, because there's a little bit of Dame Edna in me, and a little bit of, you know, the Queen, you know, and there's a little bit of Austin and a little bit of Steve. They're all characters that are just open and vulnerable characters, and that's what I like.
Oh, well, you know what's coming next. Can you give us a little bit maybe of Austin or the Queen? Just give us a bit of something. I have to put you on the spot because people want to know. I want to know. Come on, mate.
Yeah, baby, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, Robert, your place or mine, baby. Both, you go to yours and I'll go to mine, baby. Baby. So I love doing Austin. I mean, I put the brown eyes in and wigs, and I've been doing Austin. I mean, I hosted the Google's Christmas party, probably the last big party the year before the COVID, at the Sydney Cricket Ground. 900 people for dinner. I was Austin. Not dinner, they were all roving out, but there was dinner provided.
Love it.
It was a 90s theme, so because the movie was in the 90s, I hosted it as Austin. Yeah. But then I do the Queen of England. Hello, dear. Isn't it rather lovely? In these trying times, do I become Her Majesty? Oh, did you make that yourself? Oh, lovely. You know, so I'll do speeches, but I'll use the puppet. They're all puppets, you know. Yeah. And you can blame it on the puppet and go, you can't say that. Why? What did I say? You know, like, so you can blame that. So sometimes puppets are a fun way, even though, you know, I'm all into being authentic, and I pioneered a retreat called Authenticity. You know, I'm all about that. But this is just a way of educating or teaching people to be themselves, and to remind people about the art of living and the art of play responsibly. I'm a big kid, but with responsibilities, you know.
And, you know, I've got something just popped up, right? So me as a kid, growing up 2 children's homes in London, I thought I was a coconut, right? So I thought I was a white kid. Obviously, clearly not. But my friends at school.
You thought you were a white kid?
I know, I did. Because I was the only black
you
kid.
didn't see colour at all. That's fantastic.
I was the only black kid at school for 13 years. At home I was pejoratively black, but at school was pejoratively white. I spent more time with my white friends, so I identified that way. And
Wow.
so it's crazy. Oh, it's nuts. So at home I was this introvert, absolutely painfully shy, all the rest of that. And at school, when I began to excel at sport, I realized that being on a pedestal and being really shy doesn't really work. So then I embraced this other character, like this extrovert. And it was a case, so it's almost like a big case study of like, who would I become? What opportunities would be open to me if I became this extrovert? So I would literally switch characters from introvert to extrovert, and I would run with the extrovert, and then realized over time the things that the extrovert brings me: opportunities, friendships, attraction, this charisma, all the rest of that comes out with that. And the introvert gives me the ability to listen, the ability to look, the ability to realize that I have one mouth and 2 ears, right? So I think, I use the best of both. But the original way, or the original reason that the extrovert came out was to shield me from pain. That's what it was there for. It was to shield me from pain. So what I see in you is this multi-fascinating, functional, like incredible person. But when I say that I used it like that, does anything come up for you?
Thank you. You mean, is there any underlying issues that I'm cloaking? Well, everybody's on their journey, like I said, we've all got our shadow side, we've all got our traumas that we've all had. I have certainly had a lot of those. And I have a saying I say to myself, get better, not bitter. And everything in life that I have to take responsibility to, that I've attracted this to, because a lot of people don't want to take responsibility for their thoughts.
Yeah.
Because your thoughts do become things. Because what you think about comes about. And where your attention goes, your energy flows. And what you're visualizing will materialize. So visualize, materialize. So be careful what you wish for, and gird your mind. As I was saying earlier, we need to realign our mind, like be still and know, like shh, be quiet and listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. A lot of people in their heads, we've got to be listening to our hearts. And that's when you're connecting to source, the omnipresent, the omniscient and the omnipotent. We want to call it God, your higher self, the force be with you, whatever. It's like Star Wars. You can either go on the dark side of the force or on the good side. And his father was Darth Vader, right, in the metaphor. And, and Luke Skywalker was one of the Jedis, like you are, a light worker. And, all light workers are like, we're all got the potential. Look, we're all like chandeliers, when you go to the light shop and they're all crammed in one shop. And which shall I have in my house? And there's some of us standing up, some are little, some are big. But some are switched on and plugged in. You know what I mean? But some aren't. Who's switched on and who's plugged in? So unless you're plugged into this source, you're not going to be resonating, as we were saying earlier, like the violin that's resonating. You're in tune. You're resonating. And then opportunities will come. Your partner in life will come. Your job will come. But if you can't compromise your integrity just to get money or fame or love because you're insecure. Get secure. Realize that you are part of this whole universe. There's nothing to fear except fear itself, because love will cast out the fear. So stay in love, but fear will cast out your love. You'll retrograde. I'm melting. Or you'll go, no, because there's so many negative narratives out there at the moment. A lot of fear-based stuff. So you have to cast down this fear, like, and replace it. Because if you start going, I had a conversation yesterday at the Grove here, and those who are from LA, and I was having dinner on my own. I thought, I'm just going out on my own. And there was this lovely couple, a girl, a mother and daughter, and we were having this conversation, and it just came up. And we were talking about that. And she says, Mum's always freaking out, she worries about me. And so we had this really good conversation. And I was telling her about spitting out that thought. If you're making a short film of, oh my God, she's got to get run over, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, sometimes some mothers will say, if you say, I'm going to the beach, so watch out for the sharks, straight away they go to the fear base. And, you have to work on that, because you can actually be cursing someone. You have to be very careful what you think about, you know. So there is that general narrative, oh, it might something happen, it's all this Murphy's Law, and you're going into the fear instead of the faith side of your life, which is, no, she's going to walk through that front door, nothing's going to happen, my daughter's going to be fine. And that's what I was saying to this lady. So she was getting it yesterday, and the daughter was going, yay. I said, well, you could just use this and say, remember that man we had that conversation with, you're doing it, you know, like, so we all come from different eras, and the young ones are here, they're like the upgrades, but sometimes you might have been born into these fear programs. It's like you've downloaded an app, which is a crappy one, and it's not serving or giving you results, so you're getting all angry and frustrated. So you have to uninstall. But unfortunately, learning is easy, but unlearning is a challenge. You know, if you've been taught the wrong way, it's hard to unlearn that, you know.
Yeah. You know, on that learning tip, which I think is so important now, you know, like for you, like what has been, the one that comes up, what has been or what was one of the biggest challenges that you personally faced, and how did you overcome?
I've gone through different stages in my life, you know, like I've lost all my money, I've lost relationships, I've had my heart broken, you know, I've been, you know, abused mentally, physically, sexually. I've had that. Most people have had that. They just don't want to admit it. So yes, we've all had some kind of violation, but it's how out of that, for me, it's been connected to some other source, because when you feel totally rejected from the world, and, you know, at that point, it might not be true, but you think your family don't get you, your friends don't get you, you feel so alone. That's why people want to kill themselves, because they feel so disconnected to this circle tribe that we were talking about, you know. And I find that, hang on, I'll do the color thing again, it's gone again, look at that. So we've all got this trauma, and there's no judgment, because we're all a work in progress. And, you know, everybody's doing their best based on their level of awareness. So you have to allow people to grow. You can't force a flower. Now, yes, I've been through some of these things, but to answer your question, I've overcome a lot of it on my own. You know, you can go and run to people like, oh, kiss me my finger better, mummy. That's when it's called when I said self-parenting before. Yeah. I don't know if you picked that up. It's coming to that stage in your life when you do the self-parenting, because you can't have someone kiss your finger, kiss it better, mummy. I mean, you've got daughters and things, but, you know, sometimes you've got to allow them that this is pain. You know, there's consequences. Don't touch that stove. You know, you know, it's the law of attraction, and, you know, you are the creative director of your life, and so am I. And, you know, you're like Michelangelo sculpturing your own statue of David, but with your thoughts. You're chipping your own. You know, this is your life. You know, so be careful about your thoughts. And, you know, I take responsibility, and sometimes I've had these challenges, all these things that you asked me what I've been through. But I've looked back now, and I was the creative director of those. Yeah. So basically, because of my fear thoughts, you're going to have fear or faith as yours. They say faith is the substance for the things we hope for. Wow. So they say faith, hope, and love are the three biggest ingredients to make anything like a cake, or like make a, you know, Walt Disney made Walt Disney. So you have a mold, which is your hopes. Your faith is your substance, which is like the plaster you pour in there. And then it's also said that faith works by love. So you have to pour it in with the intention of love. If it's not coming from the intention of love, ain't going to work. So basically, the faith, hope, and love. So if your hope's the mold, faith is the substance, and it works by love. So faith, hope, and love. It's the three biggest ingredients to manifest anything in your life. So if you want to manifest something, it has to come from a good place, like Walt Disney, but he would have had his challenges too. Like, are you crazy? You're talking about little people. It's a small world. After you're on drugs. Like, you know, he made all these little worlds, but they're here. But a lot of people probably would have disbelieved him too, but he had to keep the faith, keep pouring in there. And then you take the mold away, and voila, you've made your physical statue, or you've made your physical business like Walt Disney, or your whatever you want. So you have to keep the faith, keep pouring in your faith. And faith's not all that organized religion. Faith is to believe in something you can't necessarily see straight away, but you can see it in your mind. You know, like, wow, imagine Walt Disney would have gone, this is what I want. And people would have gone, like I said, it's a bit crazy, but he made Walt Disney, as you know. So, you know, and there's lots of us out there that have these dreams and, you know, and our purpose, but a lot of people are not functioning with their purpose. That's the first thing you've got to get that, sort out who you are. What are you? Who are you? You know, and what happened to you? We all had a story, okay? Oprah's got a book out at the moment. What happened to you? That's a good title. You know, and that's a good question. So at the end of the day, we need to be our own physician. We need to heal ourselves through timeline therapy. If someone's pulled off your blossoms, you've got to come and pull that up and heal it again. If someone's pulled up, no, they're no good. Those blossoms I was telling you about, your purpose is horrible. Here, put these plastic social norm ones on, like everybody else is wearing. Otherwise, go to your room. Like everybody's wearing plastic carnations.
So,
and someone can pull off your blossoms, and you have a hole in your soul, and you can try and fill up that hole with all the codependencies, the compulsive behaviors, and the addictions. Take your pick: work addiction, food addiction, drug addiction, sex addiction, love addiction, alcohol addiction, mood altering through any kind of, not that there's any judgment with work, food, love, and sex, but if you're using that to find your bliss, which you never will, you'll be like the petrol tank. You need to fill it up and then it's down again. So, unless you actually are functioning with your true useful purpose, then you're resonating, then you can come in that symphony. And then you are a pleasure to be around. And if people are rejecting you because you're going, please love me, and everyone's like, oh my God, it's like fly spray. I've gone,
reset
again.
Yeah.
Reset. I actually like that.
Reset.
It's gone again. Hang on, reset. Something does it to the camera.
Yes, your arms, anyway, mate. You can't help but express yourself.
I've got the power.
Timeline therapy. Can you explain that to people watching? Because that keeps coming up, and I think it's extraordinarily powerful. So, timeline therapy to you.
It's reverse engineering.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? It's like if a spaceship landed here let's discover and reverse it. See how they made it, right? They can make one ourselves, So we have to do that ourselves as beings. And I've done a lot of that inner work myself. A lot of people are living outward in instead of inward out. So like the trees, are they living outward in or inward out? They're flourishing and blossoming, but they're not going, I need a new car, I need a party, I need a dress. Still not happy. I just gave you that toy yesterday. I don't want it now. I want another one.
I know that feeling.
I just bought it for you.
Yeah.
You're never satisfied. So we're teaching kids too, wrong messages out there with all that too. You and I probably came from an era where we had to go outside and play. We made our own go-karts and our own pinball machines we'd make nails and rubber bands, you make with the board, you make your own pin. So we created stuff, like a lot of kids are just all like, it's all done for them. And they're overly like, I've seen everything on Facebook, on Instagram. I mean, our grandparents would probably only see 3 or 4 of those things that people see every day in their life. Something astounding. We sing the best singers, the best, whatever. But it's like actually amazing. We're getting comfortably numb to it. So our attitude of gratitude for things are becoming, that's why I think COVID was, in that sense, was a good reason, because people had to sit back and think, what is really important? What is really, what am I grateful for? Don't take things for granted. Not your loved ones, not yourself, not even yourself. You have to honor yourself and love yourself and value yourself. That's why there's self-esteem and self-value and self-discipline. And, it's not like selfish. Like I'm talking about, having a healthy love for yourself. Because if you don't love you, like RuPaul says, ain't nobody else going to do it, and no one else is going to love you, if you don't love yourself. So to play in this symphony and this communities that you and I like to, unify, because you're a unifier, I can really see that. And, and that's a good thing, and the world needs unifiers, because the world has got disharmony and discord and dysfunction and dis-ease, which is disease. Dis-ease. We're without ease.
Yeah, Jace, I love talking to you, man. I could talk for hours with you, no doubt about that. So there's 2 questions that I want to finish with. So one is, attitude of gratitude, love that one. Now, when it comes to people loving themselves, right? So if you had like a little handbook or a 3-step process, if you had one, people which are, as you said, tune your instrument first, and you've given some ideas about how to do that. But specifically, if you're working with someone or trying to support someone, and you're helping them to love themselves, what would you suggest?
Well, to love yourself, like I said, a lot of people have the programs of you're no good, you're hopeless, you're always dropping things, you're stupid. So they have to renew their mind and, realize that you are a beautiful person. I'm a diamond, not a piece of glass. You got to say that to yourself. Look in the mirror and go, I'm a diamond, not a piece of glass. Because if you keep attracting the same people that are going to treat you like a piece of glass, you've done that. You've created that. So you've got to change the narrative, like that reverse engineering. Like, we've all got our stories. I've been abused, I've been raped. Okay, and I'm not just crediting that, but we've all had shit, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's had some shit. So we've got to go back to see where it happened. And like I said, heal that. When you might have even done it to yourself because of the peer group pressure and pulled off your own blushes. Or a mother might have gone, oh, don't wear those ones, dear. They might laugh, but you put these ones on, that's better. Which is done with love, which is worse. You're pulling off your blossom story, so you're losing your authenticity. So we've got to come back to authentic self and teach people how that, and let them be self-actualized. You can't really love yourself until you're self-actualized. So you can see yourself, I am actually beautiful. But your belief systems have been telling you otherwise. So that's why go and see someone that's into timeline therapy and, you know, psychotherapy, and go back to where this stuff has happened. And that's how you'll heal yourself. At the end of the day, psychotherapy must begin and occur within the patient. Meaning, in other words, only you know what's in your head. You know, you can lay on a couch forever. And there are those therapists that I call the dumping ones. How long have you had your therapist? Oh, 6 years. 6 years. If I put my car in and it's still waiting to get fixed 6 years, it'll be like, you know,
reset.
You know, a lot of people don't want to know. They just want to have, you know, the dumping therapist where they don't give them solution because they might lose a client, and they'll be just dump with the same outcome, but they're not getting results, and they exhausted all their friends whinging to them about that outcome because everyone's going, we've told you what to do, but they don't want to do it. So they just go and professionally to pay for someone to complain about all their negative narratives, you know, which is what they've created.
So it's that taking responsibility, which I love about what you're saying. You know, take responsibility for your own instrument. Take responsibility to tune your own instrument. If you need to reach out to somebody professionally to get it done, then do it, right? But don't sit on it anymore. And
otherwise, you won't be playing in this. You won't be invited into the symphony.
Yeah,
it's there for everybody to come into.
Yeah,
but not all out of tune and all like trying to control it. And I'll make you love me, and I'm manipulating this. It doesn't work, because real light workers that are resonating. Because when you're using the metaphors I've been using, like the trees and the plants, or the symphony of musicians. When you feel that, and I'm sure you've felt that, you know, the symphony of music, symphony of taste, good food, good people, good everything. It's like, wow. There was such a vibe there last night, what we were talking about earlier. And people go, what do you mean? And you can try to explain, oh, you had to be there. I'm getting goosebumps again, literally talking about it. I wish you could see him on the camera. Going right up my body. And I evoke the goosebumps because I want to be in alignment with this whole source be with you. May the source be with you.
Reset. Now,
I'm not talking tomato sauce.
Now, reset. Love it. You know what? There are some great cutaways there. Reset. Now look. So look.
I got it's going again. It's going. Maybe it's time to go.
So maybe put your hand there for a little bit of time first. So look, why we're going to do this now. So there's one last question, right? Which I'm going to give to you. So how we do this, right? So what we do is that, you know, I'll say a few words now, and then I'll give you a bit of time to think about, you know, maybe something that either you want to reinforce, or something that maybe drops in as something really important that you want to let people know, or something that you say, you know what, I just believe that people have to hear this one thing from me. And this is how we end the show. In about a minute's time, that's how we end the show, with the guests contributing something that they feel drawn to contribute. So just have a think about what that might sound like, and in the meantime, I'm going to do this little cross to say, look, you've been watching SpeakuP Monday, Inspiring Humanity. Today we've been talking to an amazing friend, an amazing guest, someone who I love dearly. It's been so wonderful and special, and I just want to acknowledge you for the incredible person that you are, Jason Scott Thompson, aka Circleman. And it's people like you that, you know, integrators, light workers, integrators, I mentioned before, collaborators, right, who initiate us to come together to realize not what separates us, but what unites us, which to me right now is the most important time in our history, and most important time that we do this right here, right now. So I just want to thank you so much, mate, for being an incredible, awesome guest, the person that you are, who I love dearly. Oh, mate, thank you so much. And look,
I love your energy too, man. I love sharing with you. I wish I was there in the flesh. We would hang out, and because I just love your energy too. You know, that's what I was saying before. The computer's going to do so much, but I can feel you from over in Bali, and you're a wonderful soul. And please keep doing what you're doing, because you're destined for glorious things. You know, you've got better, not bitter in life. You know, you can always say, oh, you don't know my story, but you've just gone on with it. I know you come from an orphanage and stuff like that too, you know, and I visited kids in an orphanage in the Philippines when I was doing tours over there, you know, and it's sad, you know, when they were the rejected among the rejected, because there was some half white cast ones there from America, because the American base was down there, and some of them were, and they were rejected among the rejected. So I know this feeling. They were all sobbing when I left, and they wouldn't want to let go of me when I had to get on, you know, leave them, and it was the saddest moment of my life. So I understand a little bit about, you know, being an orphan and being separated and feeling disconnected, you know. But so you've done an amazing job, you know, and you're now being a teacher and someone that, you know, is resonating. So other musicians that are, you know, baby musicians like your daughters, that they can tune off for you because daddy's tune. And that's how it works. If you're aligned, your kids will follow you. Everything else follows, you know.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, mate. So look, I just want to hand it over to you. If there's anything left that you would like to say or like to contribute, and then after that, we'll close the show. I'll give you a virtual hug, and just stay tuned, guys. As you know, we have 3 different SpeakuPs: SpeakuP Monday, Destination Indonesia, filmed here, Tropical Nomad with a live studio audience, Monday 6:30 p.m. GMT +8. That's like Singapore time. And then we have, you know, the Clubhouse series, exclusively on Clubhouse, a different guest on Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. GMT +8. That's like late afternoon, early evening in the US. And then finally, we have the Inspiring Humanity series, which is what we're doing now, where we get to bond, connect, and talk to amazing people who can't be here in Bali. And we do that random times during the week. So just maybe go to SpeakuP Monday group on Facebook, SpeakuP Monday group on Facebook to join there. And that will keep you updated, upgraded, and all the rest of that. And we've got a YouTube channel, so just SpeakuP Monday, search for that on YouTube and you'll find us as well. And lots of good stuff coming this year. So we do everything we possibly can to make this your best year ever. So my brother, over to you, brother Jason Scott Thompson, aka Circleman, to see us out.
We're all Circleman and Circlewomen, you know. We're all like the Leonardo da Vinci proportions of man. We're all like, whether you're small or big. So I just want to remind people that we're all part of this wonderful circle planet, and you have your circle of friends. And when we do resonate, and as we're saying, do your work, you can come into that circle. And it's like the glass going, ooh. You'll feel the vibration, you'll feel the alignment, you'll feel happy. And remember, just if you have to heal yourself, but get authentic. And don't worry about what other people think of you. You know, what other people think of me is none of my business. You know, I'm a diamond, not a piece of glass. And I recommend you say that to yourself as well, because you're a beautiful, wonderful creature. You've been put here out of all the millions of sperms racing to that egg and like, get away, it's mine, it's mine. Reset. You won. Look at you. You won out of all those millions of sperms. So remember that. I'm getting goosebumps again, goosebump chunky. And remember, when you are resonating, like the instruments, you can come in the symphony. Otherwise, you'll be like, but they'll be like, oh, he's great. Like, oh, you know, if you want people to love you, resonate. Get yourself resonating and find your bliss. I can't find it for you. Robert can't find it for you. You know, and you find that by functioning with your true useful purpose. Remember, the purpose in life is to have a purpose. It's not hard. You know, it's simple for a child to understand. And the greatest among us, the one who serves, and the one who becomes like a child, not childish, but childlike. Like, I'm a big kid, but with responsibilities, you know. I'm free to be whatever I want to be, but not at the expense of my brothers or sisters, because that violates their freedom. So let's love one another and respect one another, but respect yourself first, and then you'll resonate and people will come up to you. Your opportunities will come because you're in alignment with your purpose. You're like the plant kingdom, you're just all in the big forest. They're all doing their thing and flourishing. So go and flourish, and I'll end on that one. Peace
Thank you,
out.
my brother. Mate, lots of love to you, man. Thank you, my brother.
You too.
Peace.
All the best in Bali.
Thank you.
Peace, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers.